Alright, so as you've seen in the last episode, the engine is out. I'm sitting here warming up by the space heater. We got a new one in because this old one's probably not the easiest on power and it doesn't really do the best job heating me up. So yeah, the boys were up yesterday and they helped me get the engine out. So today we got to clean up the mess and get the transmission and torque converter off of the engine and probably also the starter. Get everything piled up that we don't need, shove it in the car and get it ready to go to the junkyard and just overall clean up our mess. Alright, so torque converter and the trans separated. This thing was giving me hell. Okay, so I've been messing around with some ideas for distributor location because we can't mount it back here in the stock location because, I can get this rag out of the way, it protrudes further and we're probably going to have to do something about this water or coolant area. I'm going to have to do some rerouting and some changes, and I also would need to make a cover in there because that is the exposed cam and oil will just fly out of there. So what did we decide to do? Well, right here is where the timing cover would originally bolt to. I then decided, why not bolt the distributor there? I need to drive this off of this, so I will need to make a small incision into the metal, put a pulley there and a pulley there of the same size so it's 1-to-1, drive them off a belt. Alright, it's time to start tearing into this motor a bit. So we're going to get the power steering pump off and some other stuff, and I'm going to move this chain so I can take the head off. And we're going to start tearing it down. The first thing I need to do is start draining the oil. Alright, valve cover is off. Just having a look at the cams. A little bit of light scoring. Nothing, well, not really. They're all pretty good. There's some very light scoring, like wear marks, but that's normal. Everything's kind of golden brown, but still nice and shiny. All the cam lobes look to be in really good shape. So that makes me happy. Time to get the cam off. Okay, so fast forward a few hours, and I've got the head off. And probably can't see, but the cylinder liners are actually in excellent condition. They still have the cross hatching on them. Very smooth. There's no pitting that I can feel. The whole assembly still rotates really easily. Got all the cam caps over there. The cams are here. They're in pretty good shape. A little bit of wear marks, but nothing severe. Pretty normal. And the head, which I'm going to start tearing apart now. Okay, so we got our cylinder head almost all stripped down. Got the water outlet stuff off there, except for this one here. I'm not going to bother with it because it's not bothering anything. That's just one of the main ones. The thermostat's back here. Unless that's the thermostat. There's two ones that look like the thermostats. There goes my wrench. So, need some paper towel. So, we got to get all of our bucket lifters out of here. But we need to make sure they're in the correct order that they come out. So, this is our intake side, this is our exhaust side, this is the front of the head, this is the back of the head. Simple as that. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4. Easy as that. Already got our cam stuff here. As we can see, all this is our exhaust side. We know where that is. So we're going to rotate this around. We can see that's our distributor out. So all we got to do is just set that up there. Line up our buckets. There's a certain way you have to pick these out of the cylinder head. You get used to it after a while. Basically, there's little edges where it stops. You get your thumb in that little edge and you pinch as hard as you can. You'll get it out every time. There's all of our shim buckets out of there. Set that somewhere safe. And now, grab a little tin, find a correct size socket. We're going to get all these retainers out of there. Okay, these aren't exactly the biggest valves in the world. So I brought a 14, which I think is a little too small. I brought an 11/16, which seems to be just about the right size. So my method of doing this is the hammer technique. I need to get a longer socket. Yeah, so the technique I go by is the hammer technique, so because I don't have an actual spring compressor or any fancy tool like that, so just nope. Sometimes we'll get it. Nope, these are some fucking strong valve springs. There we go. Got it. And there's our keepers. And that's valve spring number 1. They're not soft, but they're not stiff. Probably change these out for 4A-GE ones at some point. So, let's lift our head up. And there is intake valve number 1. Valve seat. It's not pitted, it's not burnt, but it's got a little bit of buildup. Doesn't smell too bad. Now we gotta turn our attention to these valve guide seals. I'm gonna do them because I know they tend to leak after 20 some years of sitting in oil. I just need pliers. Okay, we've got some different style pliers. Let's just get at it. These probably aren't going to fit. Wow, that's a very narrow passage. Normally on Hondas you can just get in there. Doesn't seem to be so much with these. You have to go. They're not terrible, but they're a little bit ragged. That's all the valve guide seals. Huh, little gasket. Put that on the gasket hanger. Anyways, there, that's everything we can do at the top of the head. That's all stripped. Well, I guess I could take the thermostat housing off. I don't know what to do. Real quick. Oh, Jesus. This off too while we're at it, I suppose. Ooh, that's stuck on there. A little tap. There, outlet off. Ejecto outleto. Alright. Let's take a look at our combustion chambers. They're not in bad shape. All the valve seats feel pretty good. The exhaust ones are a little bit more chewed up per se, but like they're all still really good. Like a lot of these intake valve seats look almost brand new, like they still shine. The porting, it'll be cleaned up, obviously. And yeah, people were right. The pent roof combustion chamber is quite drastic. Now, some people say it's better to smooth these out. I'm gonna leave it as it is and just do a light port and polish the intake, because it's like they're almost a straight shot in. These are pretty efficient heads, so we'll just clean it up a bit, make it look pretty. That's about it.
The motherfucking world is a ghetto, full of magazines, full clips, and heavy metal when the smoke settles. I'm just looking for a big yellow. It's 6-inch stilettos, Dr. Dre. Hello. Percolating, keep 'em waiting while you sitting there hating. Your bitch is hyperventilating, hoping that we penetrating. You get snating, cause I never been to Satan. But hardcore administrating, gangbang affiliating. MC Winner had you wildin' off a zone and a whole half a gallon. Get the dialing, 911 emergency. You can tell him, it's my son, he's hurting me. And he's a felon, on parole for robbery. Ain't no copping a plea, ain't no stopping a G. I'm in the 6, you got to hop in the 3. Company monopoly.